The shot had not yet been fired, but everything in the forest was already holding its breath. The wind slid through the leaves with the delicacy of a thief. The ground crouched beneath a weight it could not see, and the clearing ahead lay still beneath a layer of invisible tension, so thick it felt alive. Marcus Hale lay prone on the ridge, his cheek pressed against cold steel. His pulse was steady, almost too steady, like someone who had lived through the kind of chaos that teaches a man to control even the rhythm of his blood. Through the scope he watched them, a transaction designed to make nightmares grow roots. A crate was pried open. The metal inside caught the light like teeth. Weapons. Not the kind built for defense. The kind built to tear the world apart quietly. One of the men laughed. A sharp, careless sound that drifted upward, through branches and into Marcus's waiting ear. It was the laughter of someone who had killed before and never paid for it. The man wore that arrogance like armor, and Marcus knew it well. He had seen it in deserts, in ruins, in faces that believed themselves untouchable. His finger settled along the curve of the trigger. He did not breathe, not yet. Down below, the leader gestured toward the weapons with casual authority, as though distributing candy, not death. The rest nodded, satisfied. A deal that would fuel another war, another ambush, another Connor bleeding out in the dirt while the world looked the other way. Marcus blinked slowly, and the memory flickered into place. A different night, a different laugh, a different laugh. Connor lying on the ground, eyes wide, mouth open, breath thin as smoke. His blood had soaked into the sand so fast Marcus had thought it was just the earth drinking. Connor had whispered one word, a name, the same name attached to the man now standing below him. He whispered back to no one, under his breath. Done. The forest listened. Marcus Hale had once believed that the world would remember men like Connor, that the uniforms and the folded flags would mean something. But the world moves fast, and grief has a way of getting lost in politics and distance. He had stood at funerals surrounded by silence, too neat, too polite, while people in suits offered words that dissolved before they touched the ground. No one knew what it smelled like in the aftermath of war. No one remembered the faces when the headlines disappeared. But Marcus remembered everything. The smell of burned soil, the weight of Connor's dog tags, the echo of gunfire over sand. He carried it in the way he moved, in the way his jaw clenched when people pretended to understand. It was etched into the scar that ran from his ear to his jaw, a thin, pale reminder that he'd walked through hell and come out breathing. He watched the leader tilt his head back slightly, signaling to his men. It was a gesture Marcus had studied for months. Every move of this network was predictable, except the exact moment of their death. That was his choice now, his burden, his justice. Someone shifted beside him, a young operator, too young. His breath was uneven, heavy with the adrenaline of a first real operation. Marcus didn't look at him. He didn't need to. Fear has a scent, sharp, electric, like the air before lightning. The leader below turned slightly, sensing the faint disturbance. His eyes scanned the tree line. He couldn't see Marcus, but instinct pricked at him. Marcus felt it too, the fragile line between being a ghost and being a target. His finger curled around the trigger with the inevitability of gravity. His breath slid out of him like smoke. And then, the world fractured. The leader's head snapped back, and he folded into the dirt as though gravity had reclaimed him. Confusion exploded through the clearing like shrapnel. The men below scrambled for weapons, their movements messy, panicked. He had lived long enough to know that the most powerful moments don't come from speeches. They come from silence, the kind that holds respect, not pity. The prisoners were loaded into transport. The weapons would be cataloged. The news would be written. None of it would include the ridge, the breath he held, or the way Connor's name echoed in the back of his skull as he squeezed the trigger. The sun climbed higher, bleeding gold through the trees. As the team moved out, Marcus lingered at the edge of the clearing. He looked back only once. The place where the leader had fallen was already being swallowed by dirt, by time, by indifference, but not by him. Some men carry wars on their shoulders like burdens. Marcus carried his like a compass. It pointed him toward moments like this. He remembered the words Connor had said once, sitting on the edge of a battered Humvee, both of them covered in dust and exhaustion. "You'll know when it's time. You'll feel it in your bones." Marcus had felt it tonight. The convoy rumbled out, disappearing into the distance, leaving behind nothing but the scent of turned earth and the whisper of leaves. Marcus climbed into the last truck. He didn't speak. No one expected him to. The young soldier sat across from him, clutching his rifle too tightly. His eyes darted, trying to make sense of the weight in the air. Marcus met his gaze for a fraction of a second, and in that silence, the boy understood. This wasn't about glory. This was about holding a line no one would ever see. The ride back was long, uneventful. But inside Marcus, something quiet shifted. A promise fulfilled is not loud. It settles in the chest like a steady heartbeat. He remembered Connor's laugh one last time, the way it had sounded in the middle of war like defiance against death itself. That laugh would never leave him. It had carried him here. In towns far away, children woke up to another morning. Streets were quiet. The world was safe in ways it didn't even realize. Marcus Hale didn't need them to know his name. He needed only the knowledge that Connor's death had not been left unanswered. He closed his eyes for a brief moment. The hum of the truck became the forest again. The air was filled with pine and gunmetal and memory. One man, one shot, one silent promise kept. True strength never shouts. It doesn't demand recognition. It simply stands steady as the earth, while the world sleeps under its watch. Some battles end not with cheers, but with a whisper. Done. And in that whisper lives the weight of every man and woman who stands between darkness and the innocent who never even know. The truck disappeared down the dirt road. The forest returned to stillness. The world kept turning, because of men like him. And somewhere, beyond the reach of medals and speeches, silence held the only applause he would ever need.